think we have to lap this box. It's clearly domed. What's up guys? Jay's 2 cents here, and I'm excited about this one because monitors are boring, except for when they're elite 32-inch, 150 hertz, IPS, 4K, FreeSync Premium Pro crammed into this thing. We'll talk about why this might very well replace my 24 by 10, 3860 by 1600 super ultra wide panel. NZXT's build is a quick and easy way to get a new gaming computer, and right now they're proud to announce expansion and availability to Australia, the Netherlands, France, and Italy. Build a gaming PC on your budget using the built-in configurator and see exactly how your favorite games will perform. Want to build your own PC but still have the NZXT Peace of Mind warranty? Then the new BLD Build It Yourself kit has what you want. Buy it and build it yourself, and NZXT has you covered. To get started configuring or building your next gaming PC, visit the build link in the description below. All right, so we're doing a little unboxing and setup here of the new ViewSonic Elite XG320U, like I already said. Geez, if there's any indication of how big of a box this is, let this be it. Okay, ViewSonic, it's funny. It's a brand that might elicit a couple of different emotions out of you. ViewSonic, they just make cheap stuff. Or ViewSonic, they only make expensive stuff. And you know what? You're both right. ViewSonic has a massive range of products, both entry level, geez, I believe they have a 300 hertz panel as well, or something close to like a 320 or something crazy like that for esports league stuff. But the Elite 27-inch 1440p panel that we've shown the same ad for like a year and a half has been so freaking popular. In fact, that's the second panel I'm using at home right now, because I gave the first one to my daughter, my oldest daughter, with her setup. And you guys remember that video where we built the water-cooled system in the 011 Dynamic, and then I gave her the Elite panel? Well, I immediately regretted that decision and requested another one, and it took months to get it because of its popularity. Well, they've built upon that popularity now by bringing us a 4K panel with the same aesthetic design that you're used to seeing with the 27-inch, but it steps it up from a 144 hertz panel to a 150 hertz panel, which is, we'll talk about the hertz rating and where you should set them based on what you're doing with your system. But again, IPS and FreeSync Premium Pro. I don't know what the Pro means. The Premium has to do with HDR. But regardless, I run NVIDIA graphics cards, and I usually keep G-Sync and FreeSync and all that stuff turned off anyway, so it's gonna be a little bit less important to me on that. But the response time on this thing is extremely fast, making it the anti-ghosting very smooth. Okay, I'll make sure I wasn't gonna pop the panel out the wrong way or something. The colors obviously being extremely vibrant and accurate because they are IPS. And then the panel itself is aesthetically pleasing. It's not gaudy. It doesn't have ugly RGB lights everywhere. It has a light on the back that tastefully bounces off of, you know, your wall or whatever's behind you. It looks identical to the 27-inch. It's got the same headphone holder here that pops out. I can't really show it right now because it's in the box. It's got a headphone holder that pops out so you can put it there. Keyboard and mouse tethers right here so that you can keep the cords from getting all crazy if you like to push them around a lot. The same joystick and buttons on the bottom to control inputs and other settings. Cable cover, so you've got your inputs back here. Power supply is internal on this guy, so that means no brick floating around. So it uses just a standard power cable like you would use in any power supply found in a computer. So that's nice. It means it's not an ultra thin, but gaming panels don't have to be super thin. They're not TVs. 2 HDMI, 1 DisplayPort, a USB 3.0 pass-through hub with 3 USBs. So we got a headphone jack right there, which means you can use the monitor as a pass-through device for your sound if you want to use headphones and stuff hooked up to it, sound card, not sound card, but speakers and whatnot. All those functions that you guys are used to. I say monitors are boring because, you know what, even though you stare at them all day, you just kind of get used to whatever's in front of your face eventually, whether you have a slow response time and a smudgy mess of a TV, you become used to that slow, mudgy mess of a TV. And it's not something you really think about until you get something new. And then you're in that honeymoon period where you're all excited about it, and then you start to forget about it once again. But 4K obviously takes a lot of graphics horsepower to run, and it's something that for the longest time, I I had zero interest in because I am a response time and refresh rate snob. I admit it through and through. If it ain't 120 at least, it ain't in front of my eyes. And so 4K, for the longest time, panels didn't offer high refresh rate 4Ks. We would see, we saw a 120 a few years back at CES, but it's still, the horsepower in graphics wasn't quite there yet. Now with your 6900 XTs and your 3090s, there is plenty of horsepower to run your favorite games at 4K, at high settings, and still get at least 60 FPS, and a lot of the time, much higher than that. Now the reason why I'm so excited about this, and I teased at the beginning of this video that I might actually be changing my monitor setup. Ultra wide is fun for gaming and stuff, and it looks cool. It gives you more real estate with a single panel. The problem with the LG panel that I have, I mentioned the resolution, 3860 by 1600. That's a 24 by 10 resolution. It's a super ultra wide. Not a lot of games support that resolution without issues. I've had certain games constantly kick the desktop or shrink back into a window. Since I do live streams on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jace2Cents, I, more often than not, am having to finagle whether I'm doing a window capture or just a game capture itself or a monitor capture, depending on the title, because sometimes it won't hook right and the resolution gets all weird when you tab out and then it goes small. And it's a bad experience for the viewers. Gaming by myself on that panel is fine. It's when I integrate OBS and captures and stuff that starts to get weird. So going back to a 16 by 9 gives me the most compatibility of live streaming, but then I lose real estate. Now having 4K 16 by 9 and 32 inches means now I've got a bit more pixel real estate to work with here. But because I need multiple panels because of live streaming, and it's just that much more convenient to have a second panel to monitor chat, moderator windows, and all that sort of stuff, it kind of has me wanting to go back to a multi-panel, potentially 3-panel setup with these Elites. Now this is a $1,000 panel. It is not for the faint of heart in terms of pricing. But if you compare what you can get today, oh, I don't need this, sorry, I'm thinking base amount. If you compare what it is that you can get today for $1,000 versus what you got 5 years ago for $1,000, then you'll see you definitely are getting more for your money when it comes to the panel technology. If you compare what you get now for that amount of money, it's freaking amazing. The thing for me though is you might find a panel that checks all the boxes in terms of spec, but then you're left with some ugly red trim or stupid lighting on the front and it says gaming all over it or something dumb like that. The ViewSonic panels are awesome, and as much as this sounds like sponsored content, like Jay hit all our talking points, I'm not. I'm talking purely from experience. In fact, this is not a sponsored video by ViewSonic in any way. I mean, they sent the video for the pre-rolls, which we've done, but the panel is just for us to have on hand. And with my experience of the 27-inch XG27, I can tell you right now, this is gonna be my absolute new favorite go-to panel. So now that you can see it set up, if you've never seen the Elite panel before, it's got pretty much the same base and stand that you get with the 27-inch. You get a pretty decent amount of swivel in terms of degrees. You get your height adjustment, quite a bit of height adjustment. You can bring it down nearly flush to the floor. Still gives you enough gap to put down your wire tethers for your keyboard and mouse. There's the headphone hanger, like I said, right there. And on the back, when you first plug it in, you just have this pulsating blue light. You can adjust that, turn it off, whatever, in the settings for the panel. And you can see right off the bat, this is a monitor you could definitely use in an office. Because, you know, office needs. That way when you're on your lunch breaks and you're trying to get placed in Rocket League, I don't know why I'm doing more quotations. So out of the box, Windows automatically detected the panel and it put it to its max refresh rate, official max refresh rate of 144 Hertz. But I think the 144 native is perfect for anyone here. So we do have speakers built into this. In fact, you'll be able to hear them right here. See? They're not incredibly loud, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn them up. This is just nice to where if you needed some sound and you don't have any speakers hooked up, at least you get something. So overclocking to on, that's gonna get us our 150 Hertz. But if we go here now to advanced, we should see, yeah, there it is, 149.85. But if I were live streaming with this and I was doing a 60 FPS live stream, I would actually reduce that down to 120 anyway, because anything divisible evenly by 60 is going to give you the smoothest frame rate possible for your viewers. If you have something like 144 or 175 or 100, then you're gonna have dropped frames or doubled up frames because of the fact that there's not a frame that actually got drawn at the time that the hook was looking for an image. But I'm gonna go ahead and leave this at 150 for the sake of this video, because you guys are all watching it in 30 FPS anyway. So I guess I'm just gonna have to experience the beauty of this with my own eyeballs. Let's go ahead and take a look at none other than Farming Simulator, because I've been such a Farmer J lately. But then we'll look at something fast-paced like, I don't know, Rocket League or something like that. It's funny, the three major panels that you'll find out there are TN, VA, and IPS. IPS is the most color accurate. The problem is gamers were so used to TN panels, which really popped and oversaturated but had less accuracy. When they would look at an IPS panel, they would see what looked like a washed out image, or in their eyes, it would look like what S-Log does to a cinematographer. It would look all washed out and not that vibrant. But IPS is able to give you the accuracy and vibrance, and now at the fast refresh rates and response times, which is something that IPS lacked back in the days. Anyway, this engine in this game, as you can see down there on the bottom, is capped at 60. That's a game thing, so that's why our GPU is sitting at 47% usage. Look how beautiful this game is. Yeah, I was playing with the land. That's how I somehow made a sideways river, but it is so beautiful. Oh God, car! Don't just run out into the street, kids. Make sure you look both ways. It's not much, but it's mine. Let's go ahead now and get into a fast-paced game where we can see how the colors and stuff work. I guess we can go to Rocket League. I suck at Rocket League. All right, playing Rocket League. I'm only gold, so don't make fun of me. I even put a Jolly Roger flag on there because only noobs put toppers in flags, but whatever. We're on capped right now, 323 FPS. I'm kind of looking for tearing right now since we're exceeding its cap and I do not have FreeSync enabled. I don't know what to expect here. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Yeah, bad bounce. Oh, that's unfortunate for him there, isn't it? Whee. It happens. No, no. Oh, he did what I would do. Yeah. One more hit.
Ooh, nice shot. Oh, let's go.
Yeah, oh, he forfeited. Wow. So the ultra wide adds stuff off to the side, which always distracted me at home. I'm really good at, I'm not good, but playing at 16:9, I'm better at Rocket League than ultra wide. Ultra wide really screwed me up for some reason. But yeah, I know, I'm only gold, nothing exciting there. I am sensitive to tearing. I remember in Battlefield when the helicopter would be going, they'd be all like doing this because they would be like splitting across. Remember, screen's drawn from top to bottom and in halves, and then what happens is they go like that, and that's when FreeSync, it tears. And so you see everything split apart. I did not notice that even though we were exceeding the FPS of this screen by double in 4K. That was in 4K right there. But we need to go to the UFO test site because I'm curious as to what the ghosting is gonna look like. So you guys can do this with your own screen. That's testufo.com. So you can see the frame rate matches the hertz rate. So we're at 150 FPS, 150 hertz, 6 pixels per frame, 960 pixels per second. That's the movement. And you can see this is showing you the half rate. So 150 and then half again. At 38 FPS, it's pretty blurry, but it's not terrible, but you can see the scooting. I don't know if you guys can actually see that on camera with a little bit of scooting effect, but I care about the 150 up here because that is overdriven. But I'm not 100% positive I would keep this at 150. Another thing you can do too in this menu, if you want to limit your frame rate, you don't have to do it inside the OS. You can limit it right here. 60, 100, and 144 are 3 settings, or native means it's max. But now that we are here back at 144 hertz, that top UFO, which is the one that's obviously the full FPS, the full hertz rating, it's actually a lot smoother and a lot more sharp, if you will. So 6 FPS, even with overdrive, I don't think it's worth the potential trade-off of some of the artifacting that you get by overdriving. So if you want to know how good or how bad your panel is, go to testufo.com, and sometimes this leads you to spend money, just so you know, when you see how bad it is on here. But yeah, it lives up to the Elite name. A panel that I've been using for several years now just got literally bigger and better. I want 3 of these. I want to completely redo my home setup and get the tower more off to the right with long cables because I want a surround setup again like this. It's just so, there's just something that makes you like, Oh yeah, that guy's PCMR. You walk into his office or his game room or whatever, and you see three 32-inch panels, and I mean, sure, you can go with like OLED C1s and C9s and stuff and get really good refresh rates with OLEDs. I don't want a 50-inch screen. I don't want a 65-inch screen. I want 3 of these guys right here. But then the problem is if I take this one and get 3 more for my home, then I don't have one for the studio. Sound off down below what your go-to specs are for panels. What do you shop for? What do you care about? Do you care about the refresh rate? Do you care about the IPS? Or are you just like, give me the cheapest panel possible, put it in front of my eyeballs. I've never seen high refresh rate, therefore I don't care. That I can understand. If you've never experienced a high refresh rate, low response time gaming monitor and its fluidness or fluidity, then I could understand that you don't understand what you're missing out on. And sometimes it's best not to experience it because you can't go back once you do. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.